It's Susan Lanier. Yeah, it was a great experience doing it. I was very young. I wish I had better lighting now, but I'm filming you from Rome outside. I thought you might enjoy that. Anyway, remember, don't go out there. So anyway, I love you guys.
In a world where zombies, ghosts, serial killers, and vampires all exist, it's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin, and they are all that stand between you and the films that could end the world. Welcome to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast. Just want to thank all of our fans and listeners. Really appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. Before we get into tonight's film review, just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network. So there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. We hope you enjoy the episode. All right, guys, jumping to the film review. We are concluding October and spooky season with Brother Dustin's pick. Dustin, you want to announce your pick and why you picked it?
Let's see. I forgot what it was. I picked, I said it before and I'll say it again. I've been watching a lot of old movies and like the AFI Top 100 list, all the Best Picture winners of all time. It's taking me back in the time capsule, and I'm just seeing how much better film was back then. It's texting Nico about that, and he echoed those sentiments. He said, man, they just don't do it like they did in the 60s anymore. So I was like, how can I combine those two things, the 60s and our show? You know what? There's a classic, a certified classic that is well-known and well-respected in the horror community that we haven't done. So I picked Rosemary's Baby. Now, I had never seen this movie. I'll be honest, I had thought about it several times, but Roman Polanski is such a dirtbag that I put it off for a long time. But I've been doing better about separating the art from the artist. And this movie's creepy. It's not scary. Like, it doesn't have a lot of the typical horror elements that we cover on the show. But the subject matter is very dark. It's definitely eerie. And this movie's ahead of its time. Like, when you think about the 60s, you don't think of stories like this, or at least I don't. And so I'm glad I picked it. I'm glad I watched it. And I can't wait to never do that again.
All right, I'll go next. Dustin, this asshole, he picked the movie just to make me watch an old movie. I already know that. He told me. And that's fine. Honestly, I didn't hate the movie by any means. But my problem was I kept waiting for something. Like, I had not seen the movie either. I just really thought this movie was really, really slow. Like, I was just waiting for something creepy, something. And there were moments, but it's just for 2.5 hours, like it just didn't deliver to me. Like, I know when we reviewed St. Maud, we complained like the movie's really slow, but that was only an hour and 20 minutes. And I thought the ending was a payoff. I really didn't think the ending was that much of a payoff. So I really just don't think the juice was worth the squeeze in this movie, but it was fine. It was okay.
It's 2.25 hours, not 2.5.
It felt like a goddamn eternity, son. Go ahead,
This
Brian.
was the first time I'd seen this as well. I'll be honest, it bothered me. You know, I did the scene by scene, so I watched it first and said the same thing in the text message. It bothered me, and yeah, it's a product of its time. You know, it definitely shines through with some of that plot and how it's kind of, you know, sort of Guy's life, and Rosemary's just kind of along for the ride. Yeah, it drags on in a lot of places, like you mentioned, Nico, but there was just something very disturbing about it to me. And I mean, it's 1968, and yet this feels like you said, like it could be made today. And I'm a firm believer in a lot of the stories and not so rumors of not only Hollywood, but, success coming from selling your soul to Satan. And like I said,
Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift.
I think there's a lot of them, but anyway, like I said, it's realism is what I think got to me. I don't have any plans to ever watch this one again. In fact, I usually watch movies twice for these reviews, a little peek behind the curtain, especially if I've not seen it. Once to just kind of digest it, and then once to do the notes. Not this time. I watched this one time. I didn't like the way it made me feel, and that was it for me. As far as the score, God, I have no idea. And I don't know. Has anyone here seen that 2014 miniseries remake with she's in the new Star Trek? Zoe
Saldana. Yeah.
Yeah. Has anybody else seen that?
No.
And I think, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's a sequel from '76 called "Look What's Happened to Rosemary's Baby," and I think only Minnie comes back for that one. Apparently, I don't know how she was still alive, but that miniseries in 2014, and then there was a prequel called Apartment 7A that came out in 2024. And I'm not sure what in the hell you could have a prequel to. Like, would it just be Guy and Rosemary just living their normal life for an hour and 45 minutes? Like, what's fucking prequel to this?
It could be Roman and Minnie and like the history of them being in the cult or something. But
yeah.
Not Roman
about them. You're right.
The neighbor.
I know
Roman.
what you mean.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, man.
Yeah. No, but Brian, all I heard you just say was when you said as for school, right? All you can say is, I can't really say I liked it. It's pretty good though. That's what I heard.
Trust
it's
me.
cool when you do it. It's a problem when I do it.
You did not hear me say that. Trust me.
Man, come on. The movie you gave such a high score to, anyway, whatever. Okay, I'll go.
I'll do it again.
Look, I understand you would, buddy, and I'm proud of you for sticking to your guns. First time I've seen it as well, mostly because it came. I don't mind an old movie. I'm not Nico. I can enjoy a classic for what it is and kind of put it in its proper place as being a product of its time and enjoy it that way. Now, this movie's not enjoyable, so that's a wrong term for this film. But it's a product of its time that I do think holds up really, really well. Like, if we're just talking about the way it's shot, the way they use sound, the way it uses music, and like Dustin mentioned, they weren't telling stories like this on a major motion picture back then. And so definitely ahead of its time in a lot of ways. So we don't have to give the bastard credit for a whole lot, but he did make, as far as the filmmaking part of this movie, it's a well-made movie. Unfortunately, it's just made by a piece of shit. And so now it is very disturbing in the last, I'd say 30 minutes or so, or that 30, 40 minute left mark. I'm like, all right, this is starting to make me feel some type of way. I'm uncomfortable. And now I do think some of that is accomplished by how slow and plotting it is the rest of the fucking film. Like, there is nothing. Like, dude, this feels like Johnny and Bob moved into an apartment together. It could be a sitcom I used to watch on TV Land. That's how this movie comes off to me. Or, Nick at Night back in the day, right? Like, it feels like one of those for a long stretch of this movie. Now, something's off, right? Like, that there's something weird going on here, especially once we get to that scene, right? The assault scene that we don't actually see, but we are made aware that's what happens here. But all in all, it is a creepy, very disturbing film in the last 40 minutes or so. So, slight disagreement with Nico. I actually do think it pays off. Now, its runtime should be shorter, but it does pay off in the ending. I do think that's a creepy ending. Could you imagine seeing that, having not seen anything like that in the theater in 1968? Like, that would be truly disturbing. And so I think they definitely stick the landing here for sure, especially because you're not 100% sure that Rosemary isn't about to go along with this thing. Super weird, super creepy, and I think it's effective. Now, again, it's not enjoyable. It's too fucking long, but I am glad you picked it, Dustin. It's finally, it was time to watch it. So there you go.
But you are right, though. That's the creepiest part about the movie, is the whole movie is this seeing her piece the story together, piece together what's happening, and come to the realization, oh my God. And then she sees her baby and she's appalled by the monster that's in that cradle. But that unnerving smile that she gives right before the credits hit, it's like her motherly love took over and she's like, okay, I guess I'm a Satanist now. Don't like that at all.
Yeah, Mia Farrow did a really good job.
She did. And before we get going, I know we all just gave Nico a lot of crap for not liking older movies. I just want to let our viewers know he went out of his way and spent his hard-earned American dollars to watch a movie from 1931 in the theaters last night. He went and saw Frankenstein, so that he likes some of them.
You know what? I'll take that.
All right. Before we get struck by lightning, anybody else got anything to go? All right. Here we go. 1968's Roman Polanski's Rosemary's Baby. La, 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 la. We open up with Christoph Komeda's our famous lullaby theme over some scenic shots of New York City. This was before the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man wreaked havoc here, apparently, because we see Dana's apartment building here, too, from Ghostbusters. Anyway, this movie. We meet Guy and Rosemary Woodhouse, who are scoping out a recently vacated apartment in the Bramford after the previous tenant, an old-ass woman, fell into a coma and died. While there, they discover a dresser moved in front of a closet for some reason. I'm sure that's nothing. Back at their apartment, they ignore their friend Hutch's warning about the Bramford building's dark past involving murder and witchcraft over a wonderful dinner of ham and all the fixins. We fast forward, and this must be like when Mike moves. He just buys all new shit. Apparently, they didn't move furniture, but just buy a new one. But right now, Guy and Rosemary don't have any furniture, so they decide it's time to get their fuck on in the floor, and they do. We fast forward a bit more, and Rosemary is in the basement doing their laundry, where she meets a young woman, Terry Giannoffrio, who openly talks about being a recovering drug addict whom Minnie and Roman Castavat, the Woodhouses, old-ass next-door neighbors, took in from the street. Rosemary points out and admires a pendant necklace that the Castavats gave to Terry, but points out that it smells like ass juice. Oh, by the way, Victoria Vitri, that's who played Terry. We hardly knew thee. We would get to know her, though, later, and a little more, as she was 1968 Playboy Playmate of the Year. But here, we hardly knew her, as one of the preceding nights, Guy and Rosemary are about to get horizontal again when they hear some religious chanting next door, and we find Terry apparently having jumped to her death. We are finally introduced to the Castavats, and so are Guy and Rosemary, and that's it for this set of scenes.
Yeah, this has been quite the episode already. I love the opening credits in pink with a spooky score. I was feeling a bit unsettled already. This salesman is coming on a little too strong in my eyes. I'd be a little skeptical with why he's trying to convince me to buy this place so strong. I know, like, he's a salesman, but I don't know. He was a little too extra for me. I laughed at the no marijuana line when they saw the herbs in the apartment. Like, I thought that was funny for the 68. Hell yeah. Good question. Pretty sketchy to block the closet off with only having towels and a vacuum in it. Like, why? Like, that's very weird. You know, I do think Mia Farrow does give a good acting performance, but I thought it was pretty cringe in this walking scene. But I'm not giving up on her yet. This is just, my early note taking. I was caught off guard by her saying, "Let's make love." I guess dinner on the floor in a furniture-less apartment with dinner on the ground. Like, I guess that just gets the vibes going back in the 60s. Hell yeah, brother. We love to see these two ladies bonding, doing laundry together, girlies supporting girlies. Can't wait to hear Dustin's thoughts on that. Last thing I want to hear when I kiss my lady are people chanting and weird shadows on the wall. Like, you're just killing my vibe. Wasn't expecting to see that. Terry dead and splattered on the ground. And I thought the effects looked really good for the time, too. This cop broke the news to the cast of vets about as poorly as possible. Like, there was no sympathy at all. This lady thinks she fell cleaning windows at midnight. I thought that was unreal. Who the fuck is cleaning windows that late? And the last thing I got is not too much happened this opening, but I was intrigued and I wasn't really bored. I was just waiting for that creepy atmosphere to pay off. And I kind of felt like this the whole movie, personally.
Yeah, I mean, so my notes and Brian's notes started off the exact same way, which was la, 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 la. That's the first line I wrote here in my notes. This movie, very obviously of a different time. And I actually think it works to its benefit as far as that creepiness factor. Because it does a better job than any period piece that we see now can do as far as transporting you back to a different time. And so, this old building, this old ass elevator, that still has the door you have to close up and then close again. Like it's really a product of its time. And I think there's a little bit of charm's the wrong word because of the subject matter, but it definitely kind of transports you back to the time that it was taking place in. And, I will say, kind of skipping ahead here, because I didn't take a ton of notes just because it wasn't the kind of movie where I'm like, oh, that guy had a funny line. Oh, that guy, or, something funny happened here. It was very, it's a very intense movie, even during the slow parts. I will say the lamb that they made looks really good. I mean, that was lamb, right? I wasn't wrong about that. Well, whatever it was, did a pretty good job. I'd eat that up. And, something, again, a product of its time. Movies cutting to black. It's something I forget about until I watch a movie this old, where just it cuts like a play or it cuts like a TV show. It does when it cuts to black, and that again makes me in that mood for something old. Shout out to Mia Farrow here. They get in their empty ass apartment. What's the first thing she says? And then I didn't even finish with that dinner yet. And she goes, "Let's make love." Hell yeah! What a lady, man. Luck be a lady tonight, in the words of my man Frank. Speaking of Mia Farrow, 1968 Mia Farrow. Call me sometime. I like that we're in a world where we're watching a color movie from the time period, while everyone pretty much owns a black and white television as well. That they show an old clip of the old beach Daytona racetrack. That was pretty fun. So some fun stuff here. Now look, I know what's coming later, so I'm invested, and they do a good job of investing me, but to say this part isn't boring would be incorrect. Like, there's just not anything going on in terms of something happening. Like Nico mentioned in his open, we're so desensitized. We like a slow burn, but even those slow burn movies like a Midsommar, which I know you guys love, all three of you for sure. There's that slow burnness to that movie as well, and Hereditary to an extent. And so there's that, but there's also this version of a slow burn where I just think it's because it's 1968 and they didn't make those kind of fast-paced, crazy movies just yet. But anyway, finally something happens. She's dead. By God, she's dead. They killed her. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, what a creepy score that we open with. I mean, I just didn't like it. It made me feel weird. Something that bothered me off top, and Brian, I don't know if you felt this way because you're a font guy, but the pink font that they use for the credits, it's not the font itself, but it was pink. And it bothered me because it's inconsistent with the marketing for the movie. Like the poster, the DVD color, blue, everything's green. It's dark. That bright pink, you're throwing pink at me when it's all green. Let's focus here. But back to the apartment stuff, or the important stuff. That apartment, sick. Like, oh, dude. Can you imagine how much an apartment that size would cost in New York today? Good night. Have to have Mike settle money. The conversation at dinner did a good job planting some seeds about the history of this new apartment building, all the creepy happenings that they've had. Once they get moved in, though, Buddy said you don't have to tell him twice to make love, but they're a lights-off couple. What losers. You need to listen to Hell of a Life by Kanye. With the lights on is the only way to go. Anyway, pretty standard montage of getting settled in the new place. These scenes, we've seen them before. It's just kind of establishing. But I know one thing. If I'd been gone all day and all she had done when I got back was putting some liner on 4 shelves,
Jesus Christ,
I'd let her have it. Don't brag about that. Ooh, look what I did. That took, 4 minutes? I've been out earning a living for us, woman.
Jesus.
The chanting from next door through the walls, that's a no-go. Like, I'm out. I'm breaking the lease. Nothing good can come from that. The death scene that we get, Terry's body, it looked okay, but man, that blood didn't. The blood to me just looked like red paint, like cherry red paint that they just poured everywhere. I don't think the blood looked good. Intriguing enough open though, like we're world building here, and I do like that the neighbor Roman, his name is Roman Polanski, and his last name is Cassavetes, and the guy who played Guy, his name in real life was John Cassavetes, very similar last name. So I thought that was a nice tip of the cap there, but yeah, I'm in so far.
Yeah, for sure. We open up with Rosemary having nightmares about seeing Terry's corpse, and the next day, Minnie Cassavetes' old nosy ass invites herself in and makes her an offer of dinner. And with no willpower and everyone in this time period being polite, Guy and Rosemary make the worst decision of, well, their lives, in my opinion, and they go. Guy immediately takes to Roman and makes plans to see them again. Rosemary starts to find them annoying and meddlesome herself as Minnie brings her over another old-ass lady, Laura Louise, and gives Rosemary the same pendant that she recognized being Terry's, containing tannis root. After Guy tries to convince Minnie to wear it, he gets a cell phone call. Nope, he doesn't. He gets a regular phone call and finds out that he has landed an important role in a play after the original actor inexplicably goes blind. Probably playing with a Red Ryder because you know what? You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Rosemary meets back up with Hutch, complaining about Guy's career suddenly being on track, and comes home to a shitload of roses that were definitely not from the Winn-Dixie down the street. My man is sorry and wants to impregnate her with his super actor seed. On the night, they plan to conceive. After a fancy wine dinner and a roaring fire, Minnie brings over some chocolate mousse, and apparently Rosemary's tastes like shit and only eats a small portion, secretly discarding the rest because Guy is suspiciously being a dick about her not eating it, apologizing at the end here for being a douchebag after he thinks she ate it. And that's the end of the set of scenes.
Yeah, Miss Cassavetes is so awkward touring this apartment. Her tone and her demeanor, like, it was really off. Like, I don't know, like, I will give the movie credit. Like, it's just very, I don't want to say unsettling. It's just weird the whole time. This lady expects 4 people to eat on one sirloin. No wonder we're so fat in current America. Like, 4 people eating one sirloin, good night. Guy sounds devastated. The other guy got the part in the play, but Rosemary gives comfort quickly. We can always appreciate a supportive queen. Now Guy sounds devastated. He's got to go have dinner, and I get it. And now he's crashing out. This is like low. I thought this part of the movie was like low key hilarious. Like, I love when dudes crash out. I'm laughing again at Miss Cassavetes thinking the drink is horrible to her snapping on her husband for spilling the drinks on the brand new carpet. Like, this movie is just funny right now. Mr. Cassavetes should be named Johnny Cash because this man's been everywhere, man. Like, he's like, I've been to Alaska, Reno, Nevada. Like, all right, hell yeah. Guy gets the part now after all of a sudden the other guy went blind suddenly. Like, I'm weirded out. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, this guy just went blind suddenly? Like, what just happened here? Guy went from career man to let's put 3 babies in you real quick. Good night. 3 kids and overnight? Not in 2025, Bubba. Can't afford that shit. Last thing I got, another slow set of scenes, but, you know, at this point, I was seeing the ground being set, but I was just wanting things to pick up. I felt the atmosphere, but I don't know, things just weren't moving that fast.
Well, now that we're here, this may have been the first time that someone named Minnie made something that tasted like shit or had shit in it, but it wouldn't be the last time someone named Minnie put shit in her food. Eat my shit. Shout out to The Help. Great fucking film right there. Anyway, come on, man. None of y'all seen The Help because it's about women? You guys are terrible. Terrible people. Fucking great film. What's wrong with y'all? Anyway,
I thought you were talking about your
Dustin
help that you hired around your house.
Man,
I thought you were talking about your help.
I ain't got no help. I ain't got no help, man. I wish I did. First of all, Guy and Rosemary stay getting it on. I mean, ain't no way they're married, right? Shout out to Brian. And, you know, again, we have just a long, about, I'd say 7 minutes of talking. And it does drag. And like we've all mentioned, great atmosphere. Like, I'm not denying that they're starting to put some things in motion. It's just taking a little bit longer than I would like. It kind of feels like watching a play or something. I don't know how else to explain it. Now, I disagree here. I would have said yes to that dinner quickly, right? My only concern after seeing the dinner is, yes, we're all supposed to eat on this one dry-ass looking sirloin. How do they even season or make steak back then? I know that, they had the stainless steel pan, but I don't see any butter or garlic or rosemary or nothing. Just straight
S&P,
up in the
baby.
pan, flip it over a couple times.
S&P's the way for me.
I mean, I like salt and pepper too, but if I'm going to throw it on a grill or something, maybe. But in the pan, I got to have a little flavor, put a little butter in there. Come on, man. Anyway, in 68, you get what you get, I guess. And we're all spoiled. And, something that I think they're starting to do really quickly is this couple is too nice, right? Like, they're over the top, overbearing. They seem to know everything. Like, it's obvious that there's something not right with these two. And I will say they do a great job for lack of a better term, as we've already said like 10 times on this episode, setting the table for what comes later and kind of giving us a peek into their character ever so slightly. And I think that Rosemary, to her credit and also to her discredit, because she makes some stupid fucking decisions throughout the movie, but she has a gut feeling about them early on. I think that's very, very clear. She didn't want to go back over there when Guy did, to talk to them or whatever. She wanted to stay home, which I think that there was a reason, a reason for that. Now, hey man, I know they kind of set this man up to be blind and lose his part. Now Guy has the part. Hey man, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. If a blind guy if a guy goes blind, you got to step up and get the fucking part. It can't be having time for people's feelings and shit. It's my time now, as Triple H said in 1999. So is this a time where they didn't have to license the music like this? Because the music they put on the record player, I feel like I've heard, I couldn't name it by title. I should have done my research. I apologize for that. But I feel like I've heard that song a million times before. Maybe it is just very common, generic-ass music. I don't know. But it feels like I've heard it. And why are these old people even up and trying to get into my apartment, man? Go the fuck to sleep. You're old. It's time to go to bed, man. Last thing, I will say, she rightfully didn't want to eat the moose because it did taste weird. I think Dustin may appreciate this. But actually not true. He won't. He'll actually completely disagree with me. He was getting mad at her for not eating the moose. Sounds like a pussy to me, man. Anyway, go ahead.
Eat the cake, anime. I like the way that Rosemary's dream sequence was shot. It was very surreal and bizarre, like how most dreams are, like weird cuts. You're in one place, and the next second you're in a different place. I like the way that was shot. And then that old coot Roman, he was so annoying. If I'm Guy, there is no chance I'm going to that dinner. That guilt trip and reverse psychology would not have worked on me. Be a man. Then they're immediately insufferable as soon as the Woodhouses walk in. God, I was over. Then when Minnie shows up with her friend and invites herself in, hell no, I'm over these old farts. And then giving Rosemary Terry's necklace. That is weird, lady. I met this girl one time. She killed herself. And you want me to have her necklace? I'm not keeping it. I will say, Guy, not in many ways, but in one way, he's just like me for real. When Rosemary gets back home, anytime I know that I've been a crappy significant other, I throw the wildest ideas out there. I've been selfish. Let's have a baby. Yeah, used that one before. That's out of my playbook. Good call, man. Then their dinner. I know the 60s were a different time, look, but these people need to work on their boundaries. Neighbors just dropping by unannounced? Nah. And then eating food they bring? Double nah. So I get we find out that Guy had ulterior motives. But if I'm Rosemary, I don't. I'm not being polite. You want me to eat this? No, I'm not eating it. But there's some good story building going on here. And also the other actor that went blind, my first instinct was, if I'm Guy on the phone and I hear, yeah, he went blind, so you got the part, I would say, tell him to stop jacking off so much. Don't you know you go blind from that?
Damn, I heard that too. We open up with Rosemary stumbling around because that shit was drugs, son. Guy takes her to the bed and is in and out of consciousness where she's experiencing some dreamlike vision in which a demonic presence rapes her. As Guy, the Castavets, and other Branford tenants, all naked, watch on in a Diddy-like party, apparently. Sorry, I have to joke about it because, man, that was a fucked up scene. The next morning, Rosemary's body is covered in scratches, and Guy says, "Oh, that's for me. I just raped you while you were passed out. Hope that was cool." That was wild. We fast forward some more, and Rosemary is pregnant. Guy insists on telling the Castavets, and what do you know? They're back over at the house, insisting that she go to their close friend, Dr. Abraham, some Jewish last name, instead of her own physician. That night, Rosemary puts back on Terry's ass juice smelling necklace for some reason, and we are halfway through the flick.
Hold on, did you say some Jewish last name? This episode is a lot funnier than I was expecting it to be honest. I really don't have a lot here. I really don't have that many notes considering how long this movie is, but I don't know. It was just a kind of a weird one to take notes on. Guy is being respectful, saying to try to make a baby tomorrow, but his face is so creepy while doing it. Like, I don't know. It was very uncomfortable. And well, I spoke too quickly. Guy is undressing this past that lady, and like I just said, very uncomfortable and weird right now. Creepy music as the camera pans through this art gallery place. I'm really not sure what the hell is going on right now. Cult stuff now, boy howdy, this movie definitely picked up this set of scenes, and I know Dustin and Brian were really appreciating this satanic culty stuff. Very spooky when Rosemary realizes this isn't a dream and all this is actually happening. This needle stick, like the painful as can be, like modern medicine has advanced a lot, because I don't think that the way they drew blood on her with that giant needle was the right way to do it. I don't trust this Castevet couple at all. You know, they're scheming. They're the devil. Quote Bobby Boucher's mama. That's from the Waterboy Nico. You should check that movie out. Last thing I got, things have picked up, but, you know, at this point, I was just hoping that it kept up with this kind of stuff.
All right, so one thing right off the top. Brian's not allowed to do scene by scene with movies that have sex anymore. He just says this is the wildest shit. You're not allowed. You're banned from sex movies. Anything that people you just say some weird shit, man. In a good way, in a funny way, buddy. It's all love. Yeah, I mean, this scene is wholly disturbing, and it is where the movie picks up. So you know, it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Like that's awful, but this is also where the movie something is happening. Clearly, we're witnessing an assault that's real, although it's a drug trip, it's a dream sequence, it's all the above, it's all of those things, and it is incredibly disturbing, creepy. You know, again, we keep using those words, and I think they do a good job. If you were watching this for the first time, kind of blending that reality with the drug trip or the dream, like I think it's very interesting how they choose to do that for the audience, and I think it's successful. Clearly, this is a cult, a very strange cult, a satanic one. And I think that's very clear early on. And the most disturbing shot isn't even the one that you probably think. It's the one where it's just her head underneath whatever they put over, and you can like see a little bit of what happened to her just by her facial expression. Super unnerving. Just awful. And like I said at the top, and like Dustin mentioned already, they weren't making motion pictures like this back then on a frequent basis, not major ones, right? And so with this subject matter, I'm surprised they did this. 1968, so this is 8 years after Psycho, and we've done Psycho. You know, we talked in that movie about how fucking mad people were that there was a toilet on screen, much less this. This is 8 years after the release of that movie. Super, you know, they went a long way in that short amount of time. Now, a lot of other movies have happened in between now and then, but still, that's a good bridge to make. 8 years is all it took. You know, I will say I had some fun making fun of these people back in 1966 or 8, whenever it was opening wine with a fucking real wine opener. Simpletons. Me and my battery powered one just popped that sucker right out. Thank you, 2025. Last thing, they are starting to put some more pieces into place, again, like we've mentioned, by lying to Rosemary about this doctor and who she should see and what she should take and what she should drink. So they're clearly laying the groundwork there. They've all already turned full heel, but we don't quite know how evil they are just yet, but we're about to.
Yeah, you got to go pull the trigger, girl. Go make yourself puke. I told you not to eat that dessert, and now you've been drugged. I'm not victim blaming, but you shouldn't eat that food. Very bizarre dream that she has next. I love that we got the dream sequence in that last set of scenes to show us that she has bizarre dreams, show us what her dreams are like, so that even us, as we're seeing it at first, we think, oh, this is a crazy dream again. But I'll tell you, I would rather dream of Freddy Krueger than that kind of stuff. Nope. Give me the burn up child molester over this devil rapist any day. Really creepy crap. Then it turns out it's not a dream. I want to know how Guy thought that telling her that he had sex with her unconscious body sounded better than I'll let a demon rape you.
Right.
Like, both are deplorable. There are no lesser of two evils in that scenario. I know that you're her husband, but consent's still a thing. Anyway, he might be actually, let me edit this because I was taking these notes in real time. I said he may be the worst character we've ever covered. Scratch that. He is. He is the worst character, the worst person in a movie that we have ever covered. And the way he just went along with the ruse is so vile. And it gets worse when he gaslights her into thinking she's trying to gaslight her and thinking it's all made up and it's the neighbors are fine. You're imagining all this. He is a scumbag. I didn't have much here though, just in shock by all the evil that we witnessed.
Yeah. All right, we open up at the Jewish doctor's office, and he's basically like, fuck those prenatal vitamins. Here's some weird shit we want you to take. Some more time passes, and we see Rosemary come home one evening with an Anne Hesh haircut, R.I.P. Anne Hesh, and Guy tells her it looks like shit. Speaking of looking like shit, Rosemary is losing weight and starting to suffer severe abdominal pains, to which Dr. attributes it to temporary stiff pelvic joints.
No.
Starsky,
you cannot say Dr.
Why? Starsky's partner, Hutch, comes over while Guy is at work and tells her that she looks like shit and should be worried. While he's there, Roman comes over to check on Rosemary and meets Hutch. With both clocking, he must party because Roman has his ears pierced. They also talk about Rosemary's necklace, and our man Hutch is going to go home and Google that shit. Guy comes home and has him about 20 packs of Pall Malls, and later that evening, Hutch calls and instead of just fucking telling her his findings over the phone, makes plans to meet Rosemary the next day for lunch. I can't stand that shit. Guy finds out the time and place and bolts out for some ice cream, in air quotes there. The next day for lunch, Hutch is a no-show, shocker, and calls and finds out from his friend Grace that he's in a deep coma. We cut to a New Year's Eve party, and Dr. Saperstein, see, that's definitely Jewish, tells her again not to worry. Later that evening, Guy wakes up to find out Rosemary's planning an under-60 party. And yeah, assholes, I can attend that. And all these old fuckers are not invited. Minnie comes over, being nosy as hell, and giving her usual Oreo milkshake-looking poison drink, and this time we see Minnie throw that shit down the sink. We jump to Saturday's party, and despite everyone smoking inside around a pregnant woman, their friends all tell Rosemary that she looks like shit and needs to go see her old doctor. Go ahead, Nico.
I don't trust this doctor already. He's not recommending vitamins, that women should take, but instead, go get a drink from the neighbor. She's got herbs over there. That just made me think he's in cahoots with him. Like, I don't trust this guy. I laughed out loud at Guy's reaction to her haircut. Don't tell me you paid for that, dude. That was funny as hell. I'm sorry. That was a jerk thing to do, but it was funny. And I laughed again at Guy. He bro hates his damn haircut. Like, he was pissed at it. White people cooking, not a lick of seasoning on that steak. I mean, it had a good cook in the middle, but just putting a raw steak in a pan, no seasoning, that's wild. No butter, basting, good. Night. Hutch hating on her haircut. It's funny, but damn, give this lady a break. They're just being mean to her at this point. Doctor is sketched out by a route he's never heard of. Yeah, I wouldn't be trusting Miss Castevet. Like, what are we doing here? Question about rotary phones, because, I mean, I have used them before, but I don't know about the engineering, I guess. How are you able to unplug it, move it to another room, and the call still be on there? Like, that just blew my mind. I guess I've moved on past that, I guess. The film's done a good job showing Rosemary's sickness, descent in health. The poor lady is looking worse and worse by the minute since her pregnancy. Good call, Rosemary. Pour that drink down the sink. Nothing about this seems right. This is a touching moment, seemingly, with the other lady supporting Rosemary and offering her some advice. I really like that. It's a decent set of scenes, but I still thought it was really slow. Go ahead, Mike.
The fact that she was talked into going to see this quack is crazy to me, and goes back to horror movie characters making bad decisions all the time. Even in 1968, they just do the dumbest shit and listen to the dumbest people. I will say, man, she walked in with that new haircut, and Guy insulted the fuck out of her, and she just blew right past it, completely ignored his comment about, you didn't pay for that, did you? And just said, I'm in pain, which is like, damn. But then I think about it, and that's just how husbands talk to wives back then, I guess. So I probably didn't think much of it. Kind of fucked up. Natural pills over meds. No comment. I work at a vitamin shop. I will say something cool. Shout out to the carton of Pall Malls he laid down on the table. Am I right? Yeah, baby. I'm all about big tobacco. Let's go. Big tobacco. Big tobacco.
Smoke Marlboro Reds like a man.
Either one. Anyway, hey man, I'm more of a menthol short guy. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, bro. I will say, everyone is kind of talking about her appearance. I gotta be honest, guys. As the demon or the devil inside of her starts to kind of take over, it's a quote Will Ferrell from the other guys. She does look kind of shitty. Okay, just saying. Bags under her eyes, look like she's sweating all the time now. Shit's happening inside that tummy. I'm just saying. Now, at this point, outside of that disturbing scene from the last set that we talked about, not a whole lot of scary or terrifying things have happened. It feels like an episode of, goddamn, what's the name of that show? Mary Tyler Moore Show. That's how it feels, man. Like, it's literally how watching this feels. They're in New York City at Christmas, and I love Christmas, so that's nice. But, we jump to New Year's Eve really, really fast. So all that happens really, really fast. And then I will say this is where I start to notice Rosemary has decided to actually wisen up to what's going on. So we think she has a gut instinct. She's starting to follow it, pour the drink down the sink, all that stuff. And I won't lie, a party in the 60s probably would have been pretty fun. Not at, a house party in particular. Now, not at Roman Polanski's house, but a house, a normal person's house. Would definitely not want to have a party at Roman Polanski's house. But last thing, I am finally glad to see somebody listen to her, even though in the next set of scenes, which I'm just going to go ahead and complain about, she completely goes and fucks it up. Just ignores all of the evidence and throws her gut feeling away and just goes along with it because she felt the baby kick. Man, fuck them kids. Go ahead.
Listen, as disgusting and as vile as he is, Guy made me crack up when he asked Rosemary if she paid for that haircut, like you guys said. That was hilarious. And then when he doubled down and told her it looked awful, yeah, it did. If you can't be honest with your spouse, who can you be honest with? The close camera shots when Roman visits Rosemary when Hutch was there, that was good stuff. It added some tension to the scene. And also how pale she looked. Good touch. I thought that was really good stuff. I like how Hutch knows something is fishy. And Guy is acting all paranoid, like all of a sudden he doesn't trust Hutch, and it's almost like he's afraid his secret's going to get out. I thought that was great. And then first, the other actor goes blind. Now Hutch is sick. Open your eyes, Rosemary. I do like her making the guest list and excluding the evil elders and then pouring the drink out. Like, yeah, she's on to him. I like that. She shows some good instincts here, but clearly is still blind to what's going on, though, because her friends knew it was obvious that she needed to go to another doctor. Like her friends, like, since November, girl, what are you doing? Go to another doctor. He said, well, he said it would pass. Yeah, you're stupid. Sorry. But we're moving along.
We open up here with him looking at the remnants of the party, and look, I felt Guy's response in my soul. He'd rather move than clean that shit up. No, I'm there. Bunch of damn animals. Rosemary says, fuck Dr. Saperstein. She's going to see Dr. Hill. Guy is angry because he, quote, worries about offending the doctor. As they argue, though, the pains suddenly stop and Rosemary feels the baby move for the first time. We time jump some more and Rosemary's back to drinking the Oreo milkshakes and is now 3 weeks away from her due date and packing her shit for the hospital, carrying her big-ass suitcase as Guy just watches her big pregnant ass do it. Awesome guy. She gets a call from Grace and Hutch is dead. Probably from murder. But we don't know that yet. At his funeral, though, Grace tells her that before dying, he briefly regained consciousness and told Grace to give Rosemary a book on witchcraft, along with the cryptic message, the name is an anagram. She studies the book and plays a little Scrabble and deduces that Roman Castevet is an anagram for Stephen Mercado, son of former Branford resident and reputed Satanist. And I would like to take this time to ramble about a Ghostbusters 3 script that I wrote in 2002 where the name of the primary bad guy, a Pakistani named Natas, was an anagram for Satan. So, there you go. Great writing. Anyway, she tells Guy, and he discounts her suspicions and throws the book away, making her think that he may be conspiring with him. She visits the doc, and he tells her that Roman is dying and pressures them to leave on Sunday because they're planning everything around Rosemary's baby and, quote, offending her by leaving. We jump a bit, and they're seeing Minnie and Roman off to the airport. Later, we cut to Rosemary tossing Terry's necklace into the gutter and visiting the local library where she finds another book on witchcraft and jumps right to a sentence about the coven being able to blind a victim. She immediately returns home and calls Daniel Baumgart, the dude who was blinded and lost a part to Guy. She finds out they met for drinks and Guy took his tie when they met, and she abruptly hangs up. Dum dum dum, and that's the end of the set of scenes.
Lord, at this mess, I would be so ticked if I hosted a party and the patrons left my house looking like this. I'd go kick all their asses. I'm proud of Rosemary for sticking up for herself. No more crazy doctor and that sketchy drink. Like, hell yeah, girl. I wouldn't trust my husband anymore after this blow up either. Like, this is insane behavior for him. Like, he must be possessed by the devil. Why is Guy more worried about the doctor over his own wife? Like, I'm just not understanding this. I mean, I know why, but, you know. An oh shit moment with the Scrabble letters spelling out Roman Castavet. I thought that was really cool. I haven't seen many classic horror movies, but this has to be one of the earliest instances of the husband not believing their wife trope. Like, goodness. It's very strange how passionate the husband is defending others and not his wife as well. And all right, Rosemary, you need to leave Guy right now. He's obviously not on your side, like throwing this book away. Like, get the hell away from this guy. She's tweaking, though, walking through this busy traffic so nonchalant. But it's about time she threw that necklace away. You know, I read a fun fact, like that was actual traffic, and that Roman said that they're not going to hit a pregnant lady. So weird times back then. I haven't given up on this movie per se, but to me, it's still incredibly slow so far, and I'm just hopeful for an ending that makes it worth it. You know, we all love a good happy ending. Go ahead.
Shout out to Bill Belichick.
Listen, bro, this guy, pun fully intended, fucking sucks, man. All right? Like, he's clearly, like you mentioned, not on her side, throwing her shit away without asking. Like, I mean, we already have been, you know, we know he has already assaulted her, so we know he sucks. But, like, I like that she's starting to put the pieces together that he sucks. And there's a minute there where she just gets over everything and starts doing what they all say again because she felt the baby move, which I talked about already, but just so fucking annoying. She was so close to turning this thing around, and she just goes back to going right along with it. Look, man, if someone sent me a witch's book, I may throw it away too, just saying. Anyway, but just throw the book away, run as fast as you can, even though you're pregnant. Get out of Dodge while you can, because shit is not going to go well for you. I want to make it known that I would not mind having a shirt that said "Elf Shot." It autocorrected, so I don't even have the right quote. It autocorrected the last word to shit, so never mind. Anyway, fuck that joke too. God, I hate my life today. Now, I will say, Nico touched on this earlier. This movie has some unintentionally hilarious stuff in it. Her trying to like spell and descramble the anagram on the table was funny as fuck to me for whatever reason. Like, I don't know why it was funny, but her not figuring it out and, you know, putting her, you know, Scrabble words together, I thought was fucking funny personally. I would beat the shit out of this witch doctor. Clearly doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And it's easy to do that with our hindsight. But even then, I feel like my antenna would be super up. After the first meeting, I would have never gone to this fucking guy. Last thing I have, I'm so glad that she threw that ugly ass, smelly ass necklace away. Thank God.
Yeah, first of all, I want to touch on, Mike, you said get out of Dodge. Nico, that phrase became popular on the show Gunsmoke, which ran from 1955 to 75, so in case you were wondering. This movie wouldn't work in 2025 as it currently stands. It would need significant rewrites. Because what do you mean you won't let her go to another doctor? That is wild. The Hutch is dead. Do you hear yourself, lady? You just said Hutch is dead. Get out. What are you? I know this is a very serious movie, and what we just heard was very serious. But when she broke out the Scrabble tiles to rearrange the letters, I died laughing. Like a pen and papers too. You got to break out Scrabble. And then elf shot lame witch. Yes, that's it. Stop trying. It's elf shot lame witch. And then even though she's right about everything here. Imagine if she wasn't. Or like imagine if Guy was innocent. I would have been, what the hell is this woman on about? I would have ran if I was him. She sounds insane. Spells can't be cast without one of the victim's belongings. I like that touch. Explains Hutch's missing glove and why, Roman wanted to meet him. In the words of Jim Gordon, you're not allowed to believe in coincidences. That's from The Dark Knight Rises, Nico. She's putting it together, and I'm honestly excited to see it unfold in the next 2 scenes. Or 2 sets of scenes.
All right, we open up with Rosemary packing her shit and heading to see Dr. Saperstein for help. In the waiting room, she finds out Dr. Saperstein has one of those ass-smelling necklaces too, in bolts. She heads to a phone booth and calls Dr. Hill, where she makes an appointment. And at that appointment, Dr. Hill agrees. She sounds crazy as fuck and then calls Dr. Saperstein, who arrives with Guy to take Rosemary home. She is able to escape with the old drop some shit and make them pick it up routine and locks herself in her apartment. And the next set of scenes is the ending. I probably could have combined these two some, I bet.
Oh, you're good, but I really don't have that much on this set of scenes, Mike, just giving you a heads up. I'm super thankful she's finally packed up and left. It's about damn time, but with 40 minutes of the movie left, I know some bull jive still has to pop off. Very spooky, this dude standing right outside the phone booth with Rosemary, and she does a good job showing her fear, I thought. This doctor wasn't expecting to hear this spill on the cult when Rosemary got there. So what's up with the baby? That's how I would have been, but to my surprise, he's a lot more supportive than I expected after hearing all this, which I appreciated, actually, considering her husband sucked so bad. Jarring reaction with the doctor hearing Saperstein's name. Well, fuck, the doctor just pulled a quick one on her, and he's in on it too, I guess. I thought it was another slow set of scenes, and I'm just hoping the ending makes it worth it. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so this is actually where I start to invest in the movie quite a bit, because they had already kind of pulled a rope-a-dope on us, her figuring it all out and piecing it all together, and then they kind of pulled the rug out, and then now it's pretty clear she knows what's going on, and she's starting to put the pieces together that this is a cult, satanic one, they're all crazy, and she packs her shit up and leaves. In the words of Chris Cale, what kind of gone are we talking about here? Anyway, but clearly, like Nico said, when I looked at the runtime, I'm like, okay, some shit's not, it's not over yet. It's not over. I will say, super creepy that the God is dead on the Time magazine, or is God dead, quote, on the Time magazine. Super creepy, and kind of got me in that weird vibe that this movie gave me for the rest of the film. Because from the time she lays down to take the nap, and I didn't trust this doctor either. You could almost tell he was too quiet. From the time she lays down on that couch to take a nap, after the long exposition dump, we get clearly what the rest of this film is going to be, and it's them, having control over Rosemary in this way. And I ain't going to lie, he says, would you rather go to a mental hospital? Fuck yeah, I'd rather go anywhere than with you people in your satanic cult. That's for sure. Now, mental hospitals in 68 were some of the worst places on earth, but still, I don't think I'd rather be a Satanist personally. Finally, she does something smart here, where she's, drops all the stuff and gets in the elevator and locks it up there. And the music that she plays while she's trying to escape here is so loud and unnerving, and it kind of keeps getting a little bit louder and a little bit louder. A little bit louder now, a little bit louder now. Anyway, it keeps going up and up, and that really made me tense and uneasy. And it is super, it adds a lot. And for a slow movie, they've done a decent job in terms of just like layering in little things to make it unsettling, and that was one of them. But not a whole lot either here. That's all I had. I am kind of ready for the ending, though, but I think they stick the ending for sure.
Yeah, it's a real big eye-opener for her when she smells the same smell at the doctor's office. She should have headed straight to see a priest. Like, something bad's up. Good tension when she was on the phone with Dr. Hill. Like, they did a good job of building paranoia with that guy just standing there as she hung up the phone, because she's paranoid. She can't trust anyone. I thought that was great. She sounds absolutely insane at Dr. Hill's office, though. Like, if I'm that doctor, I would have her committed. But there was something suspicious about him. I didn't trust him at all. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. Nope, I'm right. All of them witches. That was the name of the book. Don't trust anyone. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Good tension here as she makes a run for it, and I'm ready for the end.
All right, here it is. We open up with Rosemary going through a Rolodex and calls Elise. but she's out seeing a moving picture show. The coven members are all there and have gotten into the apartment where they restrain her and give her a sedative. Great acting from Mia Farrow right there, too, I'd like to point out. After the sedatives, they determine that, hell, she's giving birth. When she awakens, Guy tells her the baby boy is fine. She then falls back asleep, and that fat bitch Laura Louise is bedside. The doctor comes back in and tells her it was a stillborn. As some time passes, Rosemary recovers. She hears an infant crying, and Guy claims those cries belong to some new tenant. She hides the medicine given to her by the fat bitch and discovers a hidden door in that closet that the dresser was moved in front of in that opening set of scenes. I told you. The door leads, dun dun dun, to the Castovitz apartment. She grabs a knife and heads over there where she finds all the coven members, including Guy, hovered around a black bassinet. When she finally notices, because of some old bitch screaming, very unnecessarily, by the way, why did she scream like that? She looks inside the bassinet and is horrified with what she sees, asking, what have they done to his eyes? Where they inform her that he has his father's eyes, and that her baby is the son of Satan himself. They ask Rosemary to mother her child, and to think about it as the doorbell rings and more elite come to visit the Hellspawn. When Guy tries to calm Rosemary by claiming they will be generously rewarded, when she spits in his face like Bret Hart did to Vince McMahon in 1997. After hearing the baby's cries, Rosemary goes to the cradle and gently rocks it as Nico is shown taking pictures, and we fade to black with Christoph's lullaby playing.
Wasn't aware I was in this movie, but I guess I was. I need to get my IMDb updated. Rosemary's cries for help are heartbreaking because everyone there is against her. Like, she's completely helpless. This is really terrifying for her. Valid crash out by Rosemary shouting, "They took the baby." Quite proud of Rosemary not taking that pill both times. Good for her. I love how the music cut and it went quiet as Rosemary ran away with that knife. I thought that was great. Terrifying facial acting by Mia Farrow seeing the baby's eyes. This scene is getting very weird and tense as they say Satan came up to have the baby, and hearing how she was chosen by Satan, to have the baby. Like, that was really creepy. And I love that Rosemary spit in Guy's face. Fuck that guy. He sucks. No way I drink that tea. Get me out of this joint. Menacing look by Roman asking her to rock him, and he gave her like a haunting stare. Like, he was really creepy in that moment. So the movie ends with her being the mother to Satan's child and cool with it seemingly. Alrighty then. I guess that's that mother's instinct or whatever, but I don't know. It was a little weird.
Look, this poor woman, man, like, she has barely done anything on her own free will this entire film. Now, Dustin may appreciate that, but I sure don't, damn it. Got to stand up for equal rights for everybody. Brian, I know you're not shaking your head. Fuck you, man. Shake your head at me. But, again, it took a while to get here, but this whole thing is incredibly disturbing. And it being older, I think, like I've already mentioned, really worked to its advantage in that creepy factor. The way that the sound is done, it ages the film, but it ages it in a way that makes it even scarier to me. And this group of Satanists are really dumb or smart, depending on how you look at the ending. Where do they really do such a shitty job of taking this baby away from her that they left the baby where she could hear the cries? I was like, oh man, that's dumb. Of course, like, why wouldn't you be able to hear that? That's stupid. But I think that was kind of on purpose, right? I love the scene where she walks out there with a knife, Michael Myers style. Like, that was wild. Great shots of her from behind, basically walking into this room. The way everybody reacts to her, I think, is really just, again, unsettling in a way. They're scared, but not really scared. No one's running around, running away. They're just kind of sitting there and saying, "Go back to bed, Rosemary." And as Brian so eloquently put it, fat bitch was being really kind of rude here. I mean, she just like tries to tell her what to do this entire ending. The shot of her seeing the baby for the first time is great. I think that Mia Farrow actually does a really good job there acting and looking horrified as one would. I love that Guy tries to come over and sweeten things up, and she spits right in his face, which Brian touched on there. Not quite the loogie that Bret Hart laid, which was super impressive. When you go time, distance, and where it landed on Vince, that is a fucking loogie. That is a nasty one that Bret Hart laid in there. That was crazy. Anyway, not that we need to get into the science of that, but just saying, it was a great shot by Bret there. Anyway, now her getting kind of over this whole thing fast is wild, right? Because she just sits there and is like taking it all in and doesn't run down the street, call the police. She had a knife, she didn't kill anybody, nothing. She kind of like soaks it in. And then we get a shot of Nico's kinfolk holding the camera. And then that evil-ish smile, or that smile of acceptance that we get where she's just okay with being the mother of Satan's child. That is correct. Or the mother of Satan, I guess, in this cult. So super creepy ending. Loved it. Loved the la, la, la. Like, I loved all that. Super weird score, but I loved it. So the last 40 minutes, I feel like made up for a lot of the lag of the first hour and 40 minutes, wherever the fuck it was. I can't tell time.
Look, I can't lie. The guys creeping behind Rosemary was hilarious to me. They were tiptoeing like Scooby-Doo villains. Like that, I don't know why. But that's like how Ace Ventura tiptoed. Like it's in an overly dramatic, comedic way. Tough scene to watch after that, though. Drugging her and she goes into labor, just rough, uneasy stuff. And it doesn't get easier. She should have stabbed guy in the eye with that soup spoon when she woke up. If I was her and I heard the baby cry through the wall, I would probably run in, save the baby, kill everyone else, and then burn that building to the ground because nothing good comes from that building. It's clear. I wish we could have seen Adrian's eyes, and then they mentioned his hands and feet. Like if this movie was made with more modern technology available, I can't imagine what they would cook up. Like, then again, that might have been too dark because this is very dark. But I do know one thing, though. Oh, I almost quoted Superman by Eminem. Bitches, they come, they go. No, not that. I know one thing, though. I wouldn't have dropped that knife on the floor until I had spilled the blood of everyone in that room, baby included. She went out sad there. And look, I would never advocate normally for killing a baby, but that's the spawn of Satan. I really wanted her to snap its neck when she was rocking the cradle there at the end. Instead, she looked like she's just, yeah, like you said, Mike, acceptance. She's okay with it. And she'll probably become a Satan worshiper. Then again, that's just like a woman. Their kind sticks together.
Jesus Christ. Hey, can we talk about how she walks into that room with a butcher knife, like Michael Myers, like you said. 4 or 5 people see her, noticeably see her, and then just that lady just bellows out that scream for absolutely no reason. It was like blood curdling, just for no reason whatsoever. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I did think it was interesting, though, how when she walked in, everyone's like, oh, there's Rosemary. Like, it wasn't, she's got a knife and she knows what we did. She's going to kill us. It was, oh, hey, there you are, dear. What are you doing out of bed?
Yeah.
It's almost like
that one lady.
It's almost like they knew that, it's like they weren't afraid. It's like, we have the spawn of Satan here. Satan will protect us is the feeling I got. And that made it even worse. Don't like that.
No, that's a good point. Let's jump into our social media comments and questions. I got Instagram. We only have one comment. It's from Ums Cinema, I think is how you say it. AUMZ Cinema. I really appreciate it, though. This movie is the reason I started writing. I like that.
Yeah.
We all have our inspirations, what gets us started, and I can always appreciate that. Dustin, we got anything on Twitter or X?
I
X
did,
or Blue Sky?
I did remember to post on Blue Sky this week, but we have nothing over there. On X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, though, we have 2. First one is from Kevin Scanlon. Kevin said, this is one that I've still yet to get to, one of those horror classics I've neglected over the years. Genuinely curious to see how many of you actually like it, if any, with a laughing emoji. And I didn't reply to that because I wanted you to stay tuned. Honestly, I didn't know at that point if I liked it or not. Andrew Ferguson said, I saw most of the classics when I was a kid, and they scared me when I was younger. I only saw this one for the first time a few years ago, and it didn't seem particularly creepy. Yeah, like I said, it's not your traditional horror. Like, there's no jump scares. There's not, like, gore and everything, but it's uneasy unless you dabble in the dark arts, Andrew, which, if that's the case, got my eyes on you.
Yeah, there's nothing on the Book of Faces.
You got any fun facts?
I have 2. I'm not going to lie. I could have had more. There are more out there, but I've been pretty bogged down with school, and I didn't get to them. But the 2 I have, I think, are interesting. So we go back in time a little while ago. This was June 25th of this year. Like I said, I've been watching a lot of old movies. I watched the 1953 certified classic From Here to Eternity, starring Frank Sinatra. That caused me to go down a Frank Sinatra rabbit hole, and I found this, and I thought, wow, I can't wait to pick this movie so I could say this fun fact, and I actually remembered. Mia Farrow was actually married to Frank Sinatra before she signed off to do this movie, or while she signed off to do this movie. He wanted her to be in one of his movies that he was making, but filming for this one ran over. And she was recast in Frank's movie, and then she got served with divorce papers on set. Had a boy, Frank. But then she married that creep Woody Allen after the fact, and the rest is history there. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. And then the last one I've got is that Mia Farrow was in Crimes and Misdemeanors with Martin Landau, who played Sal Bandini, Wanna Wrestle, and Ready to Rumble with David Arquette. Classic movie.
Nice. I only have one. It is that Ralph Bellamy that plays Dr. Abraham. Ralph Bellamy is actually not Jewish in real life.
Anyway, but so Rosemary's Baby was made for a budget of approximately $3.2 million and grossed just under $33,400,000 worldwide, making it
Holy shit!
one of the biggest horror box office successes of its time. I didn't get the placement of it, but that's a lot of money for 1968.
Well, can we talk about spending $3 million in 1968? Holy shit!
Yeah,
wow,
that's a lot.
All right, guys, let's jump into our favorite kill, least favorite kill, and the rating. Dusty, you want to kick us off so you can jot these scores down?
Yeah, but we only had one kill, right? And that was Terry. Well, I guess, okay, fine. Terry's my favorite kill because we got to see some of the aftermath. Hutch is my least favorite kill. There you go. They died. But as for my rating, final thoughts, look, it is slow at times. It's a slow burn. This is, you throw it on the slow cooker for hours. But man, when it gets rolling, it is dark and some heavy subject matter. And like I said, it's ahead of its time. I thought the acting was good. There was kind of a shift around this time in acting. Like you can just notice a distinct difference in acting styles, line delivery, that sort of thing around this time. So I thought it was really good there. Really good directing. I hate to give them credit, but there were some really good shots in the way the films or scenes were filmed. And even though I didn't like this movie, I can't say I liked it. It's not. I don't ever want to watch it again. It was really good. I gave it a 9.
All right, I'll go next. I agree with you on both kills because, like, you're right. There's only one really on screen. This movie, like you mentioned, slow burns. Do they have a payoff to the individual viewer? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. To me, it just didn't. Like, it was just too slow and not enough happened. And I don't know. I wish something else happened at the end. And, like, my pick for next month is a slow burn. Are you going to be unsettled by it? Are you going to not necessarily like the movie, like Dustin said, but is it going to affect you? Are you going to think it's a good movie? Like, that's how slow burns are. Like, they just depend on each viewer, and this one just didn't hit for me. I can agree with what Dustin said about being well made and all that, but I just don't ever want to watch this again. And like this cult devil stuff, does it scare me to an extent? Yes, but this one just didn't. I gave it 5.5.
Checks out.
Woo!
Checks out.
I didn't say it was bad just because it was old though.
That's the reason. You didn't have to say it.
Okay, I can't win. I'm the Mike Norvell of the show. I can't win.
Jesus. At least you're really nice.
I'll go ahead and get. Yeah, hey man, at least you're a stand-up dude. Hey, if only you were as rich as he was.
5.5.
That'd be great.
5.5. That is Nico's score on this movie, and that's Mike Norvell's average wins per season. Good job.
It's also
probably right.
Less money. It's also less millions than he gets to make per year if he does get fired. So lucky bastard. Anywho, movie's unsettling, especially in parts, and it's a slow build, slow burn, no doubt. I think Mia Farrow is great, and I think that the movie is really well made, especially for its time. It's slow. Yeah, I got a burp, so I'm sorry. You might have to cut that burp out there, Brian. But the movie is slow in parts, no doubt about it. It's honestly could really benefit from speeding it up, cutting about 20 minutes out of this movie, I think it would have made it even more effective personally, because half the movie is a sitcom, essentially, or feels like a 1960 or late 60s, early 70s sitcom. But yeah, I mean, all that being said, well made, super creepy in the last 40 minutes, and I think they stuck the landing personally. It worked for me, so I gave this classic a 7 flat.
Okay. Yeah, this actually sounds a lot like what Dustin and Nico said, I think. Did I like it? No. It's kind of like Paranormal Activity for me, where it's like I didn't enjoy it. I didn't have a, like Mike would say, good day at the office with this one. And that does play into a lot of my ratings, but I can acknowledge the way that it made me feel. The psychological effect that it had on me was what was intended, and the way that it was made was very high quality, in my opinion, especially for 68. I'm going to rate this one an 8.75, and I'm deducting only because of it going on a tad longer than it really needed to, probably 15 minutes or so.
What you just said, Brian, really warms my heart. It sounds like you are starting to come around to appreciating elevated horror. That was good. Anyway, that gives us a composite score on this one of a 7.5625. IMDb's at an 8, so we're right there with them. Letterboxd 4.2 out of 5. Rotten Tomatoes, 97% of critics gave it a favorable score, and I think the other 3% are in the Satanist cult, and they didn't want their secrets getting out.
All righty. I guess I'm part of that cult since I didn't approve it. All right, any final thoughts on Rosemary's Baby, guys? Then I'll shout out our blood donors, and we're starting a new month. I think we've all kind of decided we're just doing free months, kind of pick whatever you want. Like, we may collectively as a group pick, like in January, collectively we all made a group decision to do a certain theme. But I think we're just going to be doing 3 free months going forward, and Brian can announce his pick after I shout out these blood donors. Camper level reoccurring, Nina, Michelle Mirza, Steve Schmidt, Matt from the UK, and Anthony Andrews. Camp counselor reoccurring, Edwin Hernandez-Gunn, Joe Swinford, Adrian Aiello, Brian Samick, Andrew Ferguson, Brooke Maley, Heather Superdoc, Jennifer Davison, Too Close to Home Pod, Dana Tucker, Cole McAlexander, Max K, Madison Arzola, Casey Smith, and Amanda Pettiford, a new blood donor. Really appreciate you, Amanda. Before Brian goes, I'll go ahead and announce this too. We're going to be starting Welcome to Derry on DGOT, the series, as well next week. Looking forward to that. I've heard it's pretty good. Brian, what's your pick for next week when we start off our new theme?
What do you mean our new theme?
Our new month. Fuck me.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm
All
good.
Threw me off there for a minute. Damn.
You notice Mike didn't say anything. Go ahead.
No, I know. No shit. I went with
My mic is muted, you dick. Okay? Fuck. Yeah, I talked over you. Suck it up. Get on with it. Let's go.
All right, I went with 1999's David Koepp directed and written, Kevin Bacon starring, Stir of Echoes.
Nice.
I have not seen this movie. I'm looking forward to it. I've been wanting to watch it for a long time, so I'm excited you picked it, Brian. Final thoughts, guys, before we get out of here. Good spooky season. Good October.
That was good. Good month. Good showing, lads, for the most part on that episode. I'm proud of us. And also, I want to give a shout out to Brian. Thank you for giving me the DVD of Stir of Echoes. So I have it right beside me to watch. And
there you go. Nice.
So that's good.
Let's see. You got it with you right there.
What is Stir of Echoes?
It's there.
Physical media supremacy.
Yeah, always.
There you go.
I don't know what this is. Is it better than Jason X? Probably not.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody.